Hi, everybody. I'm so sorry that saying stop broadcast. Why is it stopping? Okay, I think it's on. I promised you stories from the road. You're on my porch with me where you could see the beautiful, I'll move it so you could see the beautiful mountains. You can hear noises from the porches. You hear the birdies. You hear lots of noises down below. There's a lot of kids in my shchana. And I missed last week's class because I needed to get away a little bit after the bar mitzvah of my beautiful son Benny. And I decided I'm going to jump on the first bus trip I've ever taken with my friend Alice Apalafia and her two sons, Gaby and Victor. And we took my first bus ride to Jerusalem. And of course, where do you go when it's your time to go to Jerusalem? The first place you go is to the Kotel, where I took a selfie with Alice. But I decided that after praying at the Kotel, I wanted to go under the Kotel. It's called Minarot HaKotel. And there are tunnels. And under the tunnels is the Kadosh HaKadoshim area where you're the closest to the Holy of Holies under the tunnels. And I thought I could just go in and say, we're praying. They saw I had my hair covered and I didn't look like a tourist and they looked like tourists. So they stopped them. And it's like one of those things, you're walking, you turn around, you think you're talking to somebody, and the Abalafias were no more. I said, well, they'd want me to continue. And I had to sit and wait, talk to the guard, everybody one at a time. And I went underneath, exactly when I'm underneath the Holy of Holies. And I'm going to open up my Tehillim book, my Psalms, and pray for the whole cloud. And there's a woman crying. She's crying and carrying on and screaming to Hashem and crying. I have no idea what she's saying because I don't speak Hebrew very well. I have no idea what she's saying. And it turns out she is crying that someone took her baby, and then the police found the baby, but the police wouldn't give her back the baby. So how is it that the people were able to take the baby? They were questioning her being, a good ima or something. Oh, she says, I give tzedakah and I do classes in my home and I've opened my home to everyone. I said, listen, if all there is Hashem took your baby, and Hashem can make anything happen. Hashem can bring you your baby back. Don't worry, he will bring your baby back to you. Hashem will bring your baby back. Oh, she's carrying on, and I'm hugging her, and I'm kissing. I'm reading the Tehillim, and I'm hugging and kissing the woman, because I just felt like, she needed. I'm on the video. You want to say hi?
So we can touch the boat.
Hi, video. Wait, everybody come on the video. Hi. I'm in the middle of telling stories. This is my son, Yosef. You're going to be on a video. And this is the bar mitzvah boy. All right, go inside. I'll be right in. I'm just going to finish my stories. So, go ahead in, guys. So, I'm hugging the woman. I'm reading the Psalms. I'm kissing them. I'm telling her. She still was carrying on. I said, listen. One of Abraham's biggest tests was to give Yitzchak. And boys, can you shut the door? So one of his biggest tests was to give Yitzchak. So did he give Yitzchak? And the woman said, yes. I said, but did Hashem take Yitzchak from the world when Abraham gave Yitzchak? No. I said, right. So you gave and you gave. Hashem's not going to take from you. Hashem will bring the baby back. Go make a misibah, make a party, set up for a baby homecoming. So I don't know if they mean son. I don't know if she means baby. I can't understand this woman. So then I said, Hannah and her son, she couldn't have son. She cried out to Hashem. You need to cry out to Hashem. She said, I'm crying. I said, I know, but look where God put you with all these lovely women davening. We're all going to pray for you. Right under the place of the Kadosh HaKadoshim. Oh, thank you so much. And then there's silence. And this other woman turns and says, can I have a bracha? I said, what's going on? I came down here to say Tehillim. This is the funniest thing. So I turn to the woman and I say, you need to come up north and visit because you need to see Meir Baal HaNes, Rebbe Meir Baal HaNes, the Rebbe of Lost Items. She said, what do you mean? That's so weird you're saying that to me because I was born right next to his place in Tiberias. I said, I don't know. I feel you're meant to come to Tiberias. The women didn't want me to leave, but I had made a promise to the showmayor, to the guard, I wouldn't take more than 15 minutes because the next person after me is waiting outside the gate. But I open up my Tehillim book and I start reading any Tehillim that I open to. And of course, it's all about a lost baby and how we have to cry to Hashem and tell him what's bothering us. I said, oh my God, I'm saying this to him for this woman. This is crazy. I just opened the book. It's time to go. And they're like, oh, don't go. Nope, I got to go. So I leave from there. I try to go up to find the Abalafias that I lost and left behind. And I'm walking up giving stock. I said, do you remember me from this summer? Do you remember I gave brachas? And I'm talking to all the tzedakah men along the way. And then this one guy who had a lot of tzedakah money, I mean, I saw what he put in his pocket because he had bills. He says, well, could I have some food? So of course I cannot say no. I'm not going to just give him a few shekels. He wants the food. So I was just thinking a lot about my father, and I was thinking about Reb Chaim, my friend that I lost, and I said, okay, I'm going to give you what you want. He says, well, I'm in the mood for some shawarma. Very expensive, but I said, okay, one shawarma, I can do it. It turns out, it's like 40 shekel. He says, guys, and he calls over his two friends and the friend's son. This lovely lady's going to buy us shawarma. So now I'm in for 4 men. And one guy says, oh, could you give me an extra one? Like he's thinking for later. And they're all like, oh, throw on this for drink. I said, hey. There's a word called chazir, means, don't be piggy. I said, excuse me, I can get you 4 sandwiches. You can get some water. And, I don't think you need the extra sandwich right now. You could ask someone else with the extra sandwich for later. Everybody I told the story, they're like, chutzpah. I said, no. It was obvious I was meant to pay for their lunch. I didn't. One guy was saying, oh, can I get a hamburger? It was like a free-for-all. I said, you know what? This is what I'm going to give them the thing, make them feel good, serve them. I'm sure the man is used to giving to them for free. Or other people coming in, and everybody's like, oh, there's a sucker born every minute. You just didn't have to give so much. I said, no, I gave in honor of my father, but I said, I'm not the one giving you the sandwiches. Hashem is giving you the sandwich. So when you're done eating your sandwich, don't forget to thank Hashem. Sandwiches. And I went, the guy wanted to give me a sandwich. I said, no, that's okay. I'm good. And I went on my merry way and met the Abalafias over at the other shop. Okay. So and then I said, well, I have to go see my sister-in-law is having, it turns out, a surprise birthday party. So I'm going to see my sister-in-law, Miriam, and surprise my Ima and surprise my whole family because they think, they left me in Sfat after the bar mitzvah weekend. They have no idea I'm in town. So I said, how am I going to get to the French Hill over there by Ramat Shalom? I had already taken my first bus ride, got my own little Rav-Kav card. I felt like I was so sophisticated. And I'm like now in the bus system, and I decide I'm going to go on the light rail. They walk me to say goodbye. It's very hard to say goodbye to my friends to America. And I get my first light rail car, and I'm like, are you going to French Hill? Are you going to French? So this little couple like watched over me to get off at the right stop on the light rail. It's beautiful. It's like a little monorail, like you're in Disney. And I get off, and I'm like, now what do I do? I couldn't find a cab, but she told me where to stand. And I see this man at the bus stop waiting, but he has on his black hat, his yeshiva hat. He sticks his thumb out. I say, are you going to Ramachal? Yes, I am. He puts his hand out. I took my first hitchhike ever, not in the history of Israel, but in the history of my life. Got in a car with this little yeshivish guy and this other guy with the kippah, pick him up. And he drives me right to my sister-in-law's door, which is unbelievable. Okay, it was because it would be a 40-minute walk. So now I show up at my sister-in-law, and I want to say surprise to her, but I realize there's no one in the house but her. So I said, I must be late. But I didn't want to say anything. What if it was that I was early? Even though the sun had gone down and I thought everybody would be there, I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to ruin the surprise. So all of a sudden she said, I was so tired. I was going to go to bed. I just made myself a little dinner. Do you want some? And I'm thinking, did I get the time wrong? Did I get the night wrong? Did I go on the wrong day? And all of a sudden, my sister-in-law's daughter, Avital, comes in. Hi, Ema. And she says, what's all that food? Yeah, my sister-in-law is so special. She's a real tzedekis. She's 3 jobs. She's a nurse. She gives to everybody. So for them to celebrate her birthday was like a really special thing. And she missed out because she was busy at Spa. So I said, okay. I'm not going to say anything till she does. So then she says, wait a minute, what's all this food for? And she gets the idea what the food is for. And she realizes it's for her birthday. And she's so excited. And I picked her out a little heart necklace with opal. And I was so excited for her. And she finally realized the party's for her. And then everybody starts arriving. Surprise, surprise. So they were all surprised I was there, especially Miriam. And I wrote her a poem. It was a lovely evening. And they're fighting who's going to take me home. Is it going to be I stay there? Is it going to be I go to my brother in Beitar? My mother wants me at her friend Cynthia in Jabotinsky Street. I said, I'll go with my Ema because I don't know when I'm going to see her again. Spend time with my Ema. And I go over there. I sleep over, do a little energy healing and massage and different things on my mother, and listen to my friend's story. Really, it was about being traumatized from divorce. But I'll tell you what was so funny at the end. She says, I never would have won my case against this person, for my marriage, agreement was a prenup. And if it wasn't for you, and I'm like, what? I don't know what she's talking about. And she says, you got a book from your friend. You understood the book, name of the book, whatever. You told your mother who told me, and because of the information in the book, which is my friend Shoshana, because of her information from that book to your mother to me, I won my case. I said, that's so funny, okay. I said, well, I'm going to be on my way now. And I took an inner city bus, something I've never done. I get on the inner city bus. I get off at the thing called the Tachana Merkazi, which is the central bus station. I said, I'm going to go visit a friend of mine who's been very sick. She's had 5 operations in 2 years. She was really down. I said, I can't come to Jerusalem and not go there to Beit Shemesh to see my good friend Danielle. She live long and be well and have a complete refuah shlema. I take her to lunch, and we're talking, and I'm deciding, where I should go next. And I know I surprised someone else that I used to surprise all the time on the summer. And I sit down at her table. She's a cosmetician, and she thinks she's coming out to get change for the lady, come out from her cosmetician room to her kitchen area. And I'm very quiet. She knows not my nature. And she starts screaming, "Oh my gosh, you came to visit me. Oh my gosh, you came to visit me." We spend a few hours talking, and she tells me the most unbelievable story. Now, I'm only on my second day on the road, but already, I see that I needed to get out to listen or help or be there all along the way. But she tells me this incredible story. She tells me that 2 weeks, she had a terrible thing happen to her 2 weeks ago. I said, "Oh my goodness, what could it be?" She says, "I was driving along downhill, and all of a sudden, it wasn't even in a crosswalk. It was just started out a young girl that was supposed to be walking with a sibling, because people have a lot of children and they're at work and they send the kids with the sibling to the school. The child ran out in front of the car, and you couldn't see that she was in motion or running because of the angle. She was behind bushes from a park. So it was like as if she just appeared out of nowhere, and my friend slams on her brake, but it's too late, and the car hits the girl. And she and her daughter are sitting in the car, and she screams out. She runs out of the car. And they tell you, never pick up, don't touch the person, don't pick up the person, don't move the person. And something she just felt the girl was dead. And she saw that that it hit her hard because the front of the car was not just dented in one place, but it was cracked. It was cracked, the car. And the girl is not moving, and she just saw her life flash before her eyes, like, "Oh my God, I've killed a child, this little child." And she scoops up the child, and everybody's surrounding the area and saying, "Oh, maybe you should touch." She scoops up the child, and she looks up to heaven, and she screams, "Hashem!" from the depth of her soul. But now her whole life would be different if the child died. I mean, even though the child wasn't in the crosswalk and she couldn't do anything, to stop the child from running there. She hit the child, so everybody saw everything. But she never told anybody this, that when she screamed Hashem, she was holding the child, she's screaming to Hashem. She said, all of a sudden, the child had made the sound out of her being as if the soul was coming back into the body. And she was shocked because she for sure thought the child was dead. So she heard that sound and it frightened her, but she was just so grateful that the child was alive again. So she was just in shock and holding the child. And, after a few moments, the police came. And after a few more moments, the child fluttering her eyes. And after a few more minutes, the child is speaking her name. And after a few more minutes, they're asking her, "Are you okay?" And you're never going to believe this in a million years, with a cracked front of your car with a dent and a crack, and you're totally dead and you're never going to believe she had not one broken bone. She did not have one injury. She had a couple scratches on the back of her leg. And the policeman said, "I see she's okay. I don't know how that could be, but for precaution, we have to bring her to the hospital to have her checked out. We hope you understand. We'll be back to interview you at a later time, but we just want to make sure she's really, really okay. Not a chipped tooth, not a broken bone, not another scratch, not anything wrong with the child." She says, "Well, it just can't be. It can't be." Now, anybody you know, who would ever be involved in such a thing. It changes you. Her daughter told me that she felt your life could change at any moment. My friend, felt that, God made a miracle just for her. I said, you don't understand. I said, no one else had the merit of the goodness that you have to ask Hashem and get an answer like that, get that miracle. Only you could be the one. Because if anybody else, the girl took it for the shchuna, for the whole community. I said, but really, people are going to talk about that you hit the child and it's going to be about you. And, unfortunately, the mother of the child is very poor. So when she called to say, we need to make a Suda, we need to make some kind of dinner to say thank you to Hashem. Hashem made a miracle for you, for your child. That nothing was wrong. The mother said, do you have insurance? Like, that's all she cared about. She said, did you hear what I said? That God made a miracle. All she cared about was money. And it's a little bit sad that some people are really like that. But my friend understood, what really happened. And so it changed her life. It changed her life, but in a good way. It didn't change her life for the bad, because God made the miracle of bringing the child's soul back into the body. But I said to her, it was really you had to be the person, because you have the merit, you have the goodness, you're like an angel, you're like the sweetest, nicest person I know. And only you could get that response. That's why. It says God makes the healing, the refuah, before the makkah, plague, the curse. Only this woman could. It was only her, only she could do it. To make the child come back in with her scream to Hashem. As we know, like her whole, I don't know what her life would be if she felt responsible for that. But so that was an amazing story of the road. And I hope, I took the guilt and the feeling of, that she didn't understand why it happened to her. But then she felt what I said to her was true. And she's a humble person. She doesn't think she's all that. She understood what I was saying to her. It gave her a new perspective. I was really glad I was there for her. Okay. So now I sleep over and I'm thinking I got to get back to the home. It's been, 2 nights. But my friend that had the car accident thing happen to her, she says to me, well, let's go do something. And we're thinking we're going to go towards Jerusalem. She says, I'm going to stop and get my sheitel. But her sheitel wasn't done. But she still wanted me to meet the sheitel lady, this young girl. And of course, the young girl told me her whole story as she's blow drying the hair of the wig. And she starts to tell her story. And I totally get it. And I started to give her, some advice. And she's like, saying to our other friend, did you tell her something? She said, no, I didn't tell her anything about you. No, you must have told her something. She said, no, I didn't tell her anything. So I gave her very good advice. And she was someone who was very hurt from the first husband. And at one point, I said, you know what? It's like when someone hurts you and betrays your trust, it's like you've been robbed from a thief. And I started to get very emotional. I said, I'm sorry, I'm going to get emotional on your behalf, but it's not nice what that person did to you. I said, because they hurt your heart and they stole your trust. So I said, you know what? I'm going to get emotional because it's one thing if someone robs you once. Say, kapara, but no, what people say is like it's a sacrifice or something else could have happened to me. But it's another thing if you let them rob you twice. I said, if you have someone you want to be with, you should move forward. Move forward, let go of that hurt, and go to the next person. Don't let what that person did to you rob you twice. So I got very emotional. I said, hey, oh, can I give you a hug? And she came and hugged me. We go out into the car, we're leaving, and my friend turns to me, she says, you know, I just want you to know that woman doesn't hug people. That's not her nature. I've never seen her do that with anybody. Oh, that's very nice that she felt she could do that with me. So now I've been like 2 days on the road. It's time, to come home. Time to get back. But we're going to make one more stop, and we stop at the Machane Yehuda, which is the beautiful shuk in the middle of Jerusalem. With the cheese, and I love my cheese, and with the olives and the veggies, and you have to check everything because it's Shemitah, but it was so wonderful. It really was wonderful. And I'm standing at the olives, and this very Haredi religious man comes walking up, and I said, oh my gosh, you have to have the Kalamata olives. They're a winner. He's ordering this, he's ordering that. And the other guy who's behind the counter saying, thanks, you're like you're promoting me, it's my job. And I just said, yes, you should enjoy it. Oh, it's so wonderful. And I don't know why I'm carrying on with the religious. They really don't talk to women. But for some reason, he just felt very comfortable. So he gets the Kalamata olives, and then he turns and he says to my friend, where is this woman from? So I said, oh, I'm coming from Sfat. He says, I was born in Sfat. My family is from Sfat. My grandfather was buried in Sfat. He's there. That's so nice. Have a lovely day. It's just the people of Israel. The people of Israel in the whole spectrum, from not so religious, like we're at the Kotel, and these women were like, this man goes, get out of the cheese. These women want to see their relatives bar mitzvah, and they have on mini skirt, and you can see up their dress. I was like, okay, that's really not what you wear to the Wailing Wall, but okay, they came for the bar mitzvah, it's so nice. And then you see people, and they're just tourists. We saw people from Sweden, tourists. I'm like, why are you here? We just want to show support. And then you just see people from all over, many different countries, people who got out from different countries because they were, feeling the anti-Semitism. But all along the way, you see all the different types of people. I mean, I went in and I was shopping in the Tachana Merkazim. I was just looking at all the different kinds of people. And it's a place where anything could happen, where we call it Hashgacha Pratit, divine providence shows itself. And I just thought I'd tell you a few stories from the road. I took my bus back. Of course, I woke up. I didn't know where I was. The guy took a different route. I was just like, where am I? But we were in some place, I think it was called the Fula. We had taken a different road completely and stopped at a different pit stop. And on the way back, there was a little boy. I don't know, he had to be around 13, 14. And he's stretching out on his two little seats, and he's dangling his feet over, and he puts on his little kapata jacket, and he puts his little hat, and he's got his little socks pulled up, with his payas. And we go into the bus stop. I don't know what you call it, Makola. It's like a market, like a 7-Eleven. And we're like looking around. Could I get this? Could I get that? I had bought my little pitot, my bread, and my special gorgonzola cheese, and my olives, and I was having a good party on the bus. And I go in just to see what's in there. Is there anything in there? And this little boy, I don't know what I have stamped on my forehead, but he's, do you think you could give me 10 shekel? I said, I certainly could. Here you go. And all I could think of was the shawarma guys going to come after me again. But it really was that everywhere I went, I talked to the guards. I talked to, the soldiers. I talked to this was the funniest thing. This was the last thing, and then I'm going to sign off. But these are stories from the road, but this was really the funniest thing that happened. And my friend Alice in Florida can corroborate. But we were walking through the old city above the Cardo, above Chabad Street, and I said, I really don't want to go in the Shuk, with the Aravim. I just don't want to go there. It just doesn't appeal to me. It makes me nervous, what could happen. So, of course, we went around, but there's some outskirts, little stores, and there's an Arab man, and he comes walking, a young man. He says, "Sei gesund." I said, "Excuse me." And I started laughing. I said, no, like that's an Arab man. And then he says, "I've got schmatis." I said, "You got schmatis?" And start laughing. "What do you mean you've got schmatis?" I said, "Well, what's your name?" He said, "Walid." "Oh, Walid," with the Arab accent. I said, "Okay, Walid, is this a new shtick? You're like speaking Yiddish to get the Jewish customers into your store?" So he says, what did he say? That was so funny. He said the next thing he said, and he didn't say schmatis. He said, "Sei gesund, schmatis." And what did he say? That was so funny. I am drawing a blank. And I said to him, if you're gonna say your Yiddish, if you're gonna brush up on your Yiddish, then you should know some other words. And I was gonna tell him the words that my grandfather taught me, which are really the nicest word. But I was like, "Listen, this is ridiculous." He says, "No, come inside and look. Come look at my things. I promise you'll get a good deal." He was acting like an old Jewish man. I said, "This is like a shtick I never saw on an Arab guy." So I said, "Well, I'm going to wish you Sei gesund stark," I told him. And he's saying, "Oh, I wish you mazel." He just was saying the funniest things. I told my friends and we got in a cab also to go to the Rova, to the old city. And this was the funny thing too. We get in a cab, and the man says his name is Tawil. I said, "Oh, you're Chalabi, you're Syrian." I have friends named Tawil. He says, No. I mean, my oldest relatives maybe, but we live over by Ramat Shlomo. He said, "But I have a wife and kids, but you could come for coffee." I said, "No, I'm not coming for coffee." I said, "What do you think? You're King Solomon, you're going to have extra wives. I'm already, spoken for." So he said, I wish we could have peace between our people. If you're good people and I'm good people, everybody should get along. And speaking to me, about my life and his life, and I could see that my friends, the Abalafis, were like, "What's going on here?" And I said, "Well, Tawil, it's a mishpacha Tawil, it's a family name. And we're talking about family reunions and how much it costs to make a party and how much this costs and that." We went into it in Hebrew. I don't speak much. And then later, I'm in the shuk, and I'm buying the pita bread, and the guy said something, and I said, "Oh, what's your family name?" And I said, "Because I already had a nice cab guy, and his name was Tawil." He says, "Tawil? This is a Tawil." And he turns around, and it's the guy's nephew. So he said, "Oh, that's my uncle that drives the cab around." I said, "This is really funny. Like, you get in a cab at one side of your vacation, you talk to the pita man on the other side of the vacation, and it's family. All of Israel and the energy of Israel, and especially Jerusalem, that it reveals, all the connections, and you can't believe you bump into this one and that one bumps into that one, and you can't imagine, that this one knew this one who knew this one." And the feeling here is everybody, is speaking about good things and Torah things and godly things and family, and they care about each other. And someone, could come up to you and buy you a sandwich, and someone could come up to you and hug you that doesn't know you. And, that the feeling is that you're home. And everybody's one big family. And that's what I wish for all of you that follow my Soul Circle classes, is that you should come home soon, and that you should feel, what it is, the air of Svat, and the fire of Jerusalem, and the earth of Hebron, and the water of the Kinneret of the Tiberias. You should feel the beauty that is Israel. And may we all be blessed to be together soon. If you're coming over, you always have a place. I wish you wonderful blessings, a wonderful week, and all good things. Peace out, my holy sisters.